Hey everybody, this is Justin with Pump Pal, and today I'm coming at you with a video. We're going to talk about how I approach dieting personally and how I try to get in my best shape without sacrificing too much. Everyone's going to be different with this depending on their goals. It's going to be, some people have trouble gaining weight, some people have trouble losing weight. Some people want to get on stage, so they're going to have like this incredible body that they're going to have to achieve. And if that's your goal, you're going to have to be much stricter. This is just my personal preference of how I approach it, and how I do things personally, right? And if you like this kind of content, be sure to like and subscribe to my page, and we'll have more content like this in the future. So let's just get started here. So I think the first thing you're going to have to learn how to do, if you really do want to try to improve, is learn to cook. I mean, you're going to have to learn how to cook because that's going to be the ultimate goal with this kind of stuff. You're going to have to do a lot of cooking. I suggest doing, I personally do bulk cooking. I get used to eating the same thing all the time, pretty much. I maybe change it up 2 times a week. So generally on like Sunday, I'll make enough food for until Wednesday, and I generally eat it 2 times a day, like for my lunch or my dinner. I have the same breakfast every day. It's going to be a bowl of oatmeal with some mixed berries in it, and 3 eggs. I've been mixing it up. Sometimes I'll fry them, sometimes I'll scramble them, with a glass of milk. And when I say glass of milk, it's usually very measured. It's about a cup, not a full glass, because we're going to get into is calories, right? Um, but that's generally a good amount of protein. You're getting your fiber, you're getting your vitamins from, the berries, the nutrition from the oatmeal, and I enjoy it personally. So you just got to find something that you like and you create this. The next important concept is calories. A lot of people, aren't calorie believers. It's a thing. I mean, it's been proven over and over again. The best examples of the reason why it works is like today's big one is the keto diet, which people do lose a lot of weight in the keto diet and they do get healthier in the keto diet. Um, but I believe it's going to be much like the low fat diet of the 70s or 80s or whatever it was, where originally when they first started, they started the low fat diet. It was preached to everybody. Everyone started doing it, and they did lose weight, right? The problem became when they started, the manufacturing industry themselves started catching on. Well, if everyone wants these low fat diets, let's sell them things that are low fat, right? So essentially, what they did was they started creating like everything low fat. I don't know if you go to the grocery style store, you can see low fat items all over the place, right? And there's low fat cookies, right? So previously, it was hard to cook a bunch of food that was low fat and eat over your calories because your chances are you're eating healthy things. You're eating vegetables, you're eating fruits, you're eating meat, you're eating um you get the drift. You're eating healthy food, and then eventually the food manufacturers made a bunch of low fat items, made it much easier to eat and consume. And in your head, I mean, as long as it's low fat, I'm going to be good to go. So you get those low fat cookies, you ate the whole fucking tray, and then you ended up gaining weight. Is because you finally hit the point to where it's easy to consume more food because it was available, and you went over your calories. The same thing with the keto diet. I don't know if you noticed, the grocery stores are starting to fill up with keto food that is easily accessible. Keto cookies. There's keto everything now, right? And it's already starting that trend. Where was it worked before because I mean you ate a bunch of meat. You chances are you had the green veggies they preach. You had broccoli. You had maybe you made something fancier with the stuffed peppers or the cream cheese in it. But I mean, you had to make those things, right? And you had to create those yourself, and it was much harder to overconsume, and reach above your calorie goals. And of course, have that nutrition in there too. I mean, proteins and broccoli is good for you, right? Um, so that's something to keep in mind when you're going through and you're trying to start your journey. I personally go with calorie counting because that's what it really comes down to. Calorie counting, and of course, there's always better calories, right? So you don't want to go, have, 2,000 calories in cookies. I mean, that's a given. Shit tons of sugar, shit tons, of nothing really. You're not getting any nutrition out of it. So there's definitely better foods to eat in your calories. So, what do I cook, right? Personally, I like to still eat good. It depends on your goals. I'm just trying to stay in shape. You know, I like to be muscular. I'm trying to get leaner. So I tend to just count my calories, put it below my calorie maintenance. And let's say, I keep it simple, right? So I just go with, let's say, what's one of my go-tos? Like if I'm making spaghetti, right? Originally spaghetti, I would go with, uh, the regular 80/20 beef. I would go with the spaghetti noodles, and then I'd have the spaghetti sauce. And that's what I would eat. Well, I still like spaghetti, right? And I want to eat spaghetti. So I went ahead and then I would buy like instead of just regular noodles, I'll buy whole grain noodles, right? One, it actually has a bit more calories in it, but you're getting lots of more fiber out of it, right? Fiber is good for your microbiome profile in your stomach. It slows what's it, insulin response, so you don't break down sugars as fast, um, much like keto. And tons of health benefits, eating more fiber. They're finding out more and more that it even affects your brain. And you need to get your fiber up, and that's why you got to eat your fruits and veggies, right? So I added that. I took the beef instead of going with regular 80/20 beef. I went with the 93/7 beef, and that increases the or sorry, it decreases the amount of calories that are within the beef. I still like the taste because it's beef, and less fat in it, less calories, more protein. And then I added veggies to it, right? Because you got to get some more veggies in there. I would take and add mushrooms. I added like another can of diced tomatoes. You can go as far as I go. I want to get my sodium count down, so I would like instead of just like taking it out of the can, dumping it inside there, I would simply rinse them off to rinse off all the salt that might be on it, and then dump it into the pan, right? Another example of that is I like nachos, right? So instead of going out and getting uh, a crap ton of nachos, right? Or the bad nachos from Taco Bell. You would get the either the lean ground beef. I personally use chicken when I do that. I use chicken. I actually boil the chicken, and then I have a grinder, right, that I grind the chicken up with, and I put it back in the pot. Add taco seasoning to it. Give it that taco flavor. Peppers, onions. I chop those up to give it some more flavor. I get the normal regular shredded cheese that's more protein on it, um, and add it. If you wanted to get the calories even lower, I'm a bigger guy, so I'm like 6 foot 270. So I personally don't have to cut too many calories, so I can use regular cheese. If you wanted to get lower calories, you can use the low fat or cheese. It's whatever you decide to do and how you're going to structure it. Is what you want to do. So an example would be like I know I'm going to be trying a new cowboy beans recipe. Let me get the window up and get my big old ugly face out of the way here. Let me go. Let's get this out of here. So what do I do? Like I'm gonna do a new cowboy beans recipe. So let's just go like, okay, let's go cowboy beans, right? And the importance is that you want to find stuff you like to eat, right? Unless your goal is to be on stage and look perfect, most people don't have to follow this super strict diet like everyone acts like. You just need to make what you like better. So I'm gonna make cowboy beans. I'm gonna come in here. They want 2 pounds ground beef. That's probably full fat, 80/20. I'm gonna go with the lower calorie option with more protein. I'm gonna go 93/7 beef. Um, Maybe I'm definitely gonna go the onion because it's a veggie. Who cares? That's fine. I'm probably still gonna keep the bacon. More protein, more fat, but as long as you distribute it correctly. I'll get this out of my way. It's not the end of the world, right? You're gonna eat a fair amount of fat, but you have fat you can eat in a day. I'm gonna go with the brown sugar. I don't care as long as I'm underneath it, and it gets. I'm probably gonna replace um, some of one of these bean types. Well, if I don't click something, one of these bean types I'm gonna replace with black beans because black beans have more protein and they have more fiber in it. And I'm actually gonna add probably myself because I seen one recipe I was looking at that had like the sausage in it, and I just think it'd be good to add more protein to it, right? Um, but it really just depends on what your goal is. If you're completely new, like I definitely, I mean, I've always worked out, been working out for 15 years. My diet's been, in the beginning was kind of lackluster, been improving upon it, and this is kind of how I would do it. Um, so essentially, you just want to find something you like. You got to learn to cook. I'm gonna say too that, um, I mean, unless you got a lot of money, you can, have someone cook for you. You're gonna have to learn to cook, and you can make things that you uh, like I said, like I showed you here, and make things you like it and improve on that recipe. Try to make it as healthy as possible, the highest protein content as possible, and you simply make it in bulk. That's a big one too. Is I eat stuff for multiple days. Like I'm a single dude, so usually like on a Sunday I'll make 8 different portions of spaghetti, right? And then I'll actually have I don't use plastic. I'll use glass Tupperware and generally like I don't even measure it. Right? I measure it, but I don't measure it. Like I'll just real quick, do a scoop of noodles, and then I'll divide 1 cup of the sauce, and I'll put them each one of them, and generally they're gonna fall in the 500 calorie range, right? So if I eat 2 of those a day, it's like a 40 grams of protein. I usually go with low fat milk because it's less fat in it, so less calories, more protein. And then I go with that, and it's never a full glass because it's a cup serving, so it's generally like about this much. Um, and then that'll be my lunch and supper probably to Wednesday. And then Wednesday night after I get done at the gym, sometimes that is my cheat meal, which I'm gonna get into, um, I guess in a little bit. But yeah, you definitely want to build in bulk. You're gonna have to learn to cook. You're gonna have to find recipes you like. You're gonna have to improve those recipes just to make them healthier. And it seems to work with me. I'm on a cut right now. I mean, at my biggest, at my smallest, I got down to about 104 or not 145. I was 6 foot, 185, and I had a little 4 pack going, but I didn't like how I looked in shirts, so I started gaining weight. I took it too far. I got kind of addicted to my strength. I was getting stronger and stronger. So right now I'm kind of cutting down, trying to get strict with myself, and push it down further, and try to hit the 200 to 225 range, because I'm thinking that's probably the range I'm going to be at where I'm lean again, or at least lean enough for what I want. You may not be able to get away with this if you want to be a competitor. But for the average person, this is going to work for you, and you could, follow it, and you can lose weight and be happy losing weight. All right, so I think we got the point across on how you should cook. My personal preference. Take it or leave it. If that's not what you like, that is fine. On the issue of calories, if you're not sure how to figure out your calories, um, generally, what you want to do is like how much do you weigh, right? So you look at, like, let's say you weigh 200 pounds. Take that times 10. Take by 10, that's 2,000 calories. That is going to be like the bare minimum. Like you could lay around the couch all day long, right? And do nothing. And you can eat 2,000 calories and you won't gain or lose weight. Generally, people do more than that. If you have an office job and you don't work out, you would then simply take that by like 0.10, right? So on your calculator, like you take 200 times 10, 2,000. Then take that number times 0.10, and then you're going to get the extra amount you should be eating um, for that energy burn added to that 2,000, right? Or that's going to be 2,100. Or if you wanted to do it the other way around, you could times it by 0.90, and that'll be your final number. But if you're more active and you're working out, which you should be, you can simply do, 0.20, and then get your base number. And what you want to do is you want to try to hit those calories consistently, and then weigh yourself, and then simply weigh yourself. And if you're going down, you're going down, right? If it's too much, I wouldn't try to lose crazy amounts of weight too fast unless you're a bigger person. That's fine, because you're gonna lose muscle if you do it too quickly. Um, that's the idea about calories. You can also just go and get a calorie counter, I suppose. You could go, let me go here, calorie counter. Bam. Punch in your stuff, and there you go. You're gonna figure out your calories. And then you just kind of follow it. And if you go along with it, keep your protein high. Um, you're gonna either lose or gain weight. If you need to gain weight, you eat more food. about 500 calories more than what you burn every day, and you're gonna gain weight. Um, I'm gonna say, I mean, you definitely should be working out if you're trying to gain weight because it's gonna be all fat. Otherwise, you're gonna, not get muscle. Um, the importance of working out when you are dieting is crucial. A lot of people like think like, well, I just gotta drop the numbers, and then you're gonna be happy once you lose weight, and you very well may be. But a lot of times, what happens with that kind of stuff is you'll get down there, but you'll still be like not like tight, right? You're not gonna see muscle mass. You're not gonna see um definition. That's where the working out comes into play. You're going to be much happier with the end result if you go lift weights, and you're going to see that muscle, and you're probably going to be more motivated to keep losing weight once you start seeing it, as opposed to getting down there and realizing it's not what you think it is, right? Another benefit to working out and gaining muscle is that you naturally burn more calories just sitting around on the couch, right? So if you put on 10 pounds of muscle, you weigh more, right? And that goes back to the original calculation. Now you weigh 210 pounds. 210 times 10 is 2100, right? So now you have more calories you burn on a daily basis without doing anything, which in turn allows you to eat more food, allows you to burn calories easier, right? So that's the idea behind that. What else did I want to cover in the video? Oh, cheat meals, cheat meals, cheat meals. Cheat meals are just fine, especially if you're working out. Like I tend to put my cheat meals like I base it off the gym a lot of times, unless I have something going on. Maybe I have a date. I'm not gonna worry about what I'm gonna eat and having a couple of drinks. I don't care, and that's what the average person is gonna be like, right? You're not gonna be a stickler all the time. Generally, if I have a cheat meal, it's on a day where I felt kind of weak, like especially if I'm cutting, and I'm not eating as much. Usually like by Wednesday, couple days in, I'm gonna feel weaker, and then usually those days is when I like to cheat. I'll go out and me personally, I'll get like a bigger meal at a restaurant. If I have nothing made at home, sometimes I will, sometimes I won't. But you try not to have that go over like 2 times a week, and it actually does you a justice by eating these meals. A lot of people don't realize the benefit of it is what do they call it? Leptin is a chemical in your stomach that is it in your stomach? Leptin. Okay, I just know because I remember I read it somewhere that leptin is the chemical that tells you if you're hungry or not, right? So when you lower your calories down over a certain period of days, your leptin levels go down. Your body starts to indicate you're hungry. And what's good about the cheat meal is that you get a calorie surge. Your body produces that leptin. Doesn't make you feel hungry anymore. So you generally want to have that happen like 2 times a week. Um, I personally sometimes go big on that one, right? So if I felt really weak in the gym, I'll eat a bigger meal. If you're really trying to stay strict to your diet, I would say if you're running to McDonald's or you're, going out, to a drive-through somewhere, try to stick to just the burger, right? So like you've got a bigger burger, not the end of the world, right? The fries start to throw in the calories, the drink starts to throw in the calories. Do what you like, but generally you just want to go for the burger, and then skip your snacks, right? So, how often should you eat also on these meal plans? It's actually pretty important because it keeps you full if you eat multiple times a day. And there's, I guess, there's evidence to back up the separated meal thing, but I think the biggest one is just not allowing yourself to get hungry. So, this is what an average day would look like when I eat. I would wake up, take my shower, and then I make breakfast. And I have the same breakfast, if I'm at home at least, not doing nothing. I have the same breakfast every day. I'll have a bowl of oatmeal with mixed berries, 3 eggs, and a glass of milk. Every day, all the time. I like that personally. You can find something you like. Probably my healthiest meal, where I'm most consistent. Got that down pat. I'm happy with that. Every day I have that. Generally, that's at 8 o'clock. Then 2 hours later at 10 o'clock is when I'll have my protein shake. That'll be my first protein shake. Then I'll usually have some type of fruit with it. It'll be an orange. And then from there, I'll have my lunch, and it's whatever I prepared. But in this instance, let's say it's spaghetti, right? I already have it, tubed up. It's in my fridge. I go grab it. I put it in the microwave, 2 minute it. Another glass of milk generally is what I would have. Then from there, it'll be at 2 o'clock. I'll have a handful of mixed nuts. Then I'll have some like about a cup of grapes with it. You can pick up whatever fruit you like. There's tons of fruit out there. You can find something you like. There's gotta be. I mean, try them all out. And you don't have to stick to this. You can have, whatever you like, but you just gotta keep it in your calories, right? Like I said, I'm a bigger dude. I can lose weight on 2,500 calories pretty easily. My maintenance calories with me working out and everything else right around 3,200 calories a day. Um, so I can eat more. So just figure out what your snack's gonna be, fit in your calories, and that's what you do. So, where are the leaf off at? I was at 2 o'clock break. Uh, all right, 2 o'clock break. If that's what I have, keeps me full. Nutrition, and then generally I won't eat again until 6:30. 6:30 range because I'll leave for the gym at 3 o'clock. That mixed nuts and the grapes gives me the energy to work out. I then work out usually about 2 hours with weights and cardio or whatever body part I'm going to hit. Then when I come home is usually when I eat again, and once again it's going to be the same thing. Whatever I had for lunch, whatever I have docked up, spaghetti, another glass of milk, and then generally I do like a snack at night around 8 o'clock. Um, I'll eat. I mean, this one varies because it's kind of like my snack. I try to keep. I'm like right now. I'm trying to keep it healthier, so I'm trying to find some healthier snacks. My go-to if I don't want to make anything is what are those the Yasso uh, frozen yogurts, right? They're really good, and I like ice cream. And they keep the calories to the minimum. It's like 150 calories per bar, and it's usually to finish off my calories and whatever I calculated for the day. A healthier option that I've been trying to get in there is I'll take 1/3 cup of yogurt, low fat yogurt, and that's about 14 grams of protein. I'll take 2 of those cups of low fat chocolate pudding. I'll mix it into that mixture with a handful of mixed nuts, and I'll throw some dark chocolate in it because that's my dessert. Dark chocolate chips because they're lower. I want to say low calories. You gotta be careful with those. Like 1 tablespoon is like 80. But yeah, I'll put those in there and I'll mix it all up, and it's kind of like an ice cream. Once again, I'm a big ice cream fan, so I'm trying to find something to replace that. Um, and it's actually pretty good and satisfying. And it's a good chunk. Like you wouldn't think it's about 300 calories, and I can have a bowl like this, and it's like this thick, right? So it's a good chunk of food too. And if you actually think about that, like how much I ate, it seems like I ate a lot of food, but that's 2,500 calories, right? Because you've prepared it all out, you have it all out there, you're eating constantly, so you're not gonna get the munchies. So that's what your day should look like. You're every couple hours, you're eating something, not a lot, but you're eating something um, consistently to keep yourself full and satisfying that munching hunger. So I think I covered everything I want to cover in the video. So I mean, just to break it down, count your calories. At the end of the day, I mean, I don't know how people can even argue it. There's just so much evidence of it. Count your calories. You're allowed to cheat. You're gonna have to learn to cook, and you're gonna have to cook in bulk. Um, I mean, me personally, that's what I do. You don't have to do it. Eat consistently meals of our time. Try to get healthy stuff in there because not all calories are created equally. That's the reason why the keto works. A lot of times you're just eating veggies and meat. I mean, that's what it comes down to. Take it as your will. I hope this video helps somebody to try to get their diet right. I also, I guess, suppose I could throw it in there. I mean, you did notice I never had said I drank a soda. I usually do coffee in the morning. And I don't, I'm not, I mean, I do have like one Diet Dr. Pepper at night. If it's the weekend, if I'm having like a gaming session, I will go off the low carb Monster Energy drinks, and it's not really because it's low carb. It's because it tastes pretty good and it's like 30 calories. But that'd be like a weekend thing when I'm gaming with my buddies. But yeah, I mean that's the way you approach it. I feel like it's more realistic than what most people are trying to jump into. If you're trying to go from eating whatever you want with no discipline, going into all you eat is chicken and broccoli, or all you're going to eat, I mean, you're going to have a real tough time. I'm telling you that much. And the average person does not need to do that. Like, I mean, I don't see why they want to go into that unless you're getting paid money. I mean, like the guys on stage who are, who knows how much money they're paying in drugs to look like that, and they're fucking, eating just chicken and broccoli and rice. If that's what you want to do, go for it. I prefer to be happy, personally. But yeah, I hope you take it what you will from this. Give it a shot, see if you like it. And you don't have to follow the 2 hour rule if you like. You can even do intermittent fasting. You could do, where you try to get like a good chunk in a window. Do what you like. But I think the biggest one in this video is just trying to find something you like, the meals you like, and make them better. If I can make pizza healthy, oh my God, that'd be fucking awesome. But still working on that one. I've looked around for like whole wheat crusts. I've looked, but they're like super expensive. I'm not paying that kind of money for, a fucking pizza crust. So I might actually look into making it myself. Maybe I can make it in bulk and then I could, put it inside the freezer when I need it. But that's the idea behind it. You try to find the stuff you like, make it better. I'm going to stop talking. I guess I'm babbling at this point. But if you guys like this kind of content, be sure to like and subscribe to my channel. And I will be making another video tomorrow. And you all have a good day.